Polluting the sacred Ganges, India's environmental crisis. Here at Sergeant Facts, we strive to solve the world's riddles and mysteries. We are starting our trek along the Ganges today, which is frequently referred to as India's lifeline. For millions of people, this magnificent river, which flows smoothly across the northern plains, is more than just a body of water. It is their source of inspiration, life, and nourishment. The Ganges is considered a sacred river that is essential to India's cultural fabric and supports the livelihoods of numerous communities. Come along with us as we follow its course from the freezing caves of the Himalayas, where it starts, to the vast deltas, where it meets the sea. Learn how the Ganges is more than just a river. It is a representation of life itself, sustaining the region and its inhabitants. Stay tuned as Sergeant Facts brings you the untold stories of this magnificent river. As a spiritual and cultural river, the Ganges is second to none. Ganga, a goddess whose purity washes away sins and makes the way to salvation easier, is more than just water to millions of people. Travelers from far and wide come to its banks to partake in its holy waters, celebrate with lively festivals, and complete rites of passage. Religion, tradition, and mythology are intricately woven into the fabric of Indian life, and the Ganges serves as a reflection of that faith. The Ganges is an important river for many people's livelihoods because of its importance in farming, fishing, and tourism. A large percentage of India's population gets their food from the region's rich plains, which are ideal for farming. Its spiritual appeal brings in tourists, while its wealth supports fishermen. The fact that the historic and culturally significant cities that line its banks are able to thrive economically is proof of the river's essential role in the American economy. Nevertheless, the Ganges is in danger of losing its sacredness and the life it provides due to a long-standing issue of pollution. The formerly hallowed waters have become a disease vector due to pollution from industries, untreated sewage, and urban runoff. There must be immediate action to restore the sacredness of this water source because this pollution has desecrated a sacred symbol and endangers the lives of those who rely on it. Restoring the Ganges requires an understanding of its pollution sources. A large portion of its pollution comes from sources including agricultural pesticides, urban runoff, and industrial trash. The river is frequently the recipient of hazardous garbage discharged unregulated by factories that along its banks. The Ganges watershed is particularly vulnerable due to the conglomeration of factors, including over-fertilizer and pesticide usage in farming, poor waste management, and the increasing number of cities and towns along its banks. In the fight to keep the Ganges clean, industrial pollution is a strong opponent. The river becomes a poisonous conduit as a result of the chemical cocktail and untreated sewage dumped into its waters by factories located along its banks. The health of the millions of people who depend on the Ganges for their everyday necessities is jeopardized by this unrelenting assault, which also threatens aquatic life. Urbanization exacerbates the deterioration of the Ganges, introducing a plethora of pollutants. As cities expand, the river becomes a convenient dumping ground for waste. The lack of adequate sewage treatment facilities means that urban runoff, loaded with plastics, heavy metals, and other hazardous substances, flows unchecked into the river, further straining its vitality. Agricultural runoff poses another significant threat to the Ganges, introducing excessive nutrients and pesticides into the river. These substances promote the growth of harmful algal blooms, which deplete oxygen levels and create dead zones where aquatic life cannot survive. This alteration of the river's natural ecosystem disrupts the balance and health of its waters. Religious practices, deeply intertwined with the Ganges, also contribute to its pollution. Rituals that involve the immersion of idols, offerings, and even the practice of cremation along its banks leave behind a residue of materials that the river cannot assimilate. While these practices hold immense cultural significance, they impose a substantial ecological toll on the river's health. The impact of pollution on the Ganges ecosystem is profound. Toxic substances from various sources damage the delicate balance of life, leading to a decline in biodiversity. Fish populations, a crucial source of food for millions, face the threat of extinction, while contaminated water affects the health of communities, disrupting livelihoods and economies reliant on the river's bounty. The pollution in the Ganges has had a significant impact on its aquatic life. Toxic substances from industrial waste and agricultural runoff have degraded the water quality, leading to a drastic decline in the population of native fish species. This not only disrupts the river's biodiversity, but also affects the livelihoods of fishermen who depend on these waters for their daily catch. The loss of aquatic life is a grim reminder of the river's deteriorating health and the urgent need for comprehensive conservation efforts. Public health faces a dire threat from the polluted waters of the Ganges. Communities relying on the river for drinking, cooking, and bathing are exposed to harmful contaminants, leading to a surge in waterborne diseases. The prevalence of ailments such as cholera and hepatitis has been linked to the river's polluted state, underscoring the critical need for access to clean water and improved sanitation facilities. This situation highlights the intersection between environmental degradation and public health crises. The economic ramifications of a polluted Ganges are profound. The decline in fisheries, tourism, and agriculture due to deteriorating water quality directly impacts the income of millions. Moreover, the costs associated with treating waterborne diseases burden the healthcare system, diverting resources from other critical needs. This economic strain underscores the interconnectedness of environmental health and economic prosperity, emphasizing the need for sustainable practices. Water scarcity in the Ganges Basin is an escalating crisis, exacerbated by pollution and climate change. Reduced water flow due to over-extraction for agriculture and industry compounds the effects of pollution, making clean water increasingly scarce. This scarcity threatens food security, as the river is a vital water source for irrigating crops. Addressing water scarcity requires a holistic approach, considering both conservation and pollution control to ensure the Ganges can continue to sustain the region. The Indian government has acknowledged the critical state of the Ganges through various initiatives aimed at cleaning the river. Efforts to improve sewage treatment infrastructure, enforce regulations on industrial discharge, and promote community awareness are steps in the right direction. However, the success of these initiatives hinges on sustained commitment and cooperation between government entities, local communities, and private sectors. This collective action is essential for restoring the health of the Ganges, a river intrinsic to India's cultural and spiritual identity. The Namami Gange program, launched with great fanfare, represents a beacon of hope for the Ganges revival. Funded by the government, it aims not only to clean the river but also to maintain its purity by integrating various efforts, including sewage treatment and riverfront development. This comprehensive approach seeks to address the myriad issues plaguing the river, showcasing a renewed commitment to restoring the Ganges to its former glory. The role of technology in cleaning the Ganges is increasingly becoming pivotal. Innovative solutions, such as the use of bioremediation techniques and the installation of effluent treatment plants, are being deployed to tackle the pollution head-on. These technological interventions offer a promise of effectiveness in combating the contaminants that mar the river, providing a modern approach to an age-old problem. Community participation in Ganges conservation efforts is crucial for the success of any initiative aimed at the river's restoration. Local communities are being encouraged to take ownership of the river, engaging in cleanup drives and awareness campaigns. This grassroots involvement fosters a sense of responsibility and connection to the Ganges, helping to ensure the sustainability of conservation efforts. International support for Ganges restoration projects is gaining momentum, highlighting the global significance of this endeavor. Countries and international organizations are coming forward with technical and financial assistance, recognizing the Ganges not just as an Indian asset, but as a global heritage needing collective effort for its preservation. This international interest underscores the universal value of clean water and sustainable environmental practices. The challenges of enforcing pollution control measures in the Ganges Basin are manifold. Regulatory enforcement faces hurdles, from industrial non-compliance to local resistance against changing traditional practices. Achieving a balance between stringent pollution control and socio-economic realities of the region is complex, requiring nuanced strategies that can adapt to the diverse challenges encountered along the river's course. The legal framework surrounding Ganges pollution is complex and multifaceted, designed to address the myriad sources of contamination plaguing this vital waterway. It encompasses a range of regulations and acts focused on water quality, industrial discharges, and environmental protection. However, the enforcement of these laws has been a significant challenge, often due to limited resources, corruption, and lack of public awareness. Strengthening this legal framework and its implementation is crucial for the river's future health. Success stories in the battle against Ganges pollution offer glimmers of hope and demonstrate the potential for positive change. Initiatives like the transformation of certain ghats into zones free of waste disposal and the successful treatment of industrial effluents before they reach the river showcase what can be achieved with dedicated effort and strict enforcement of pollution control measures. These examples serve as inspirational models for further cleaning efforts. The importance of sustainable industrial practices cannot be overstated in the quest to save the Ganges. Industries along the river must adopt cleaner, greener technologies and waste management systems to minimize their environmental footprint. This shift not only benefits the river, but also contributes to the industry's long-term sustainability by ensuring they comply with environmental regulations and avoid potential penalties. Educating the masses on the importance of a clean Ganges is essential for fostering a culture of conservation and respect for this sacred river. Awareness campaigns, incorporating traditional and social media, can play a pivotal role in changing public attitudes and behaviors. By understanding the river's significance and the threats it faces, communities can become proactive participants in its preservation. Non-governmental organizations, NGOs, play a vital role in the fight against Ganges pollution, bridging the gap between government initiatives and community action. These organizations engage in a variety of activities, from conducting cleanup drives and pollution monitoring to advocating for policy changes and raising public awareness. Their efforts are critical in mobilizing grassroots support and effecting tangible improvements in the river's health. Climate change exacerbates the myriad challenges faced by the Ganges, intensifying the river's pollution and water scarcity issues. Rising temperatures lead to increased glacial melt in the Himalayas, altering the river's flow and affecting ecosystems. Additionally, erratic monsoon patterns compound the threat, disrupting the lives of millions who depend on the river for their daily needs, thereby making climate action integral to saving the Ganges. The potential of green infrastructure in the revival of the Ganges cannot be overstated. Techniques like constructed wetlands for wastewater treatment and riparian buffer zones can significantly reduce pollution levels and restore aquatic habitats. Such sustainable solutions not only address current environmental issues, but also fortify the river against future challenges, marking a pivotal step towards a cleaner Ganges. The future of the Ganges rests in our collective hands. It demands a multifaceted approach that combines governmental efforts with community action. Leveraging technology, enforcing stricter pollution control, and fostering global cooperation are essential. The revival of the Ganges is not just an environmental imperative, but a cultural and economic necessity, urging all stakeholders to commit to its restoration. The global implications of reviving the Ganges stretch beyond its immediate geographical confines. A successfully restored Ganges would set a precedent for river conservation worldwide, showcasing how concerted efforts can overcome environmental degradation. It would also bolster global water security and biodiversity, emphasizing the interconnectedness of ecosystems and the importance of preserving such vital natural resources. The collective responsibility to save the Ganges is a clarion call to humanity. It requires us to transcend individual interests and unite in a shared mission to restore the river's health. The Ganges, a symbol of life and purity, is a testament to our environmental stewardship. Its revival is not only an act of preservation, but an investment in our future, ensuring a legacy of a vibrant, life-sustaining river for generations to come.